Welcome back, Future Scots, to Future Scot Friday, episode number 6. I'm your host, Danny.
And I'm your other host, Nor. This week, we're going to be interviewing Dr. Blake, our Director of Diversity and Inclusion here at Alma. Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, could you tell us a little bit about your role on campus and what exactly the Office of Diversity and Inclusion is and does?
Yes, so my role is really to lead our efforts across campus in creating a welcoming, a safe, and inclusive campus. And so I do that through a number of ways. I lead a lot of our diversity education programs. I also direct 2 student support groups on campus, and I'm really here for anybody who needs a resource. When you first come in, during orientation, you'll walk around to a lot of different groups on campus, or it's called the Student Org Fair. And we have a lot of student organizations that are focused on various diversity issues or identity groups. So we have cultural groups like BSU, Black Student Union, or Multicultural Student Union. We have some politically affiliated groups. We also have interfaith. Any of those groups are ways to get connected in the broader sense with diversity and inclusion. And then with my office, we have a program called the Campbell Scholars Program. It's open to any student, but we have an emphasis on students of color, and we really work to be a leadership development so that we can build those leadership skills and also be that social support for our students of color here on campus. And then the other program that students can get involved in is the King Chavez Parks Mentor Program. And that's open to any first-year student who is interested in having a peer who works with them to help them transition from high school to college. And so those are 2 of our programs that we help to connect students from underrepresented backgrounds.
So, Dr. Blake, could you tell us if you have a favorite DEI event or Alma memory?
I do. I was just thinking about this. I think my favorite event was our Martin Luther King Jr. workshop last year. So it was actually a student-led production on microaggressions and racial justice. They were able to really learn about what microaggressions are and really know how to address them and to support students on campus who may be who may be targeted in those ways. So I think it was really helpful from an educational standpoint, but it was also really fun to just see like all these people together in a room. And it also makes me kind of miss that because this year that's not going to be really possible. So, but that has been my favorite memory so far.
What would be your biggest piece of advice that you could give to students when applying to Alma?
Yes, I would say really ask a lot of questions and don't be afraid to advocate for yourself. So my office is really big on helping students learn how to advocate for themselves on a number of issues, whether it be like having somebody walk you through your financial aid letter or explain a bill to you. I remember in my first year of school, when I was in college, I did the exact same thing. I didn't understand something, so I had someone sit down with me, and it was very cumbersome, but it was worth it because I understood what my bill was and what I was paying. And so I really encourage students not to feel afraid because that's what we're here for. We're here to answer all of your questions, and we're really here to take all that time. So really advocate for yourself because I think that will really make your experience in college so much more meaningful.
So, could you talk a little bit about how campus has reacted to the BLM movement and other social justice conversations going on right now?
Yes. So I would say, first of all, like, I really feel energized by a lot of the students who were advocating and really pushing us to really take a look at ourselves and how we support our students of color, particularly our Black students on campus. And we've been continuing to do a lot of things. So our unconscious bias training that we deliver to our freshmen or our first year students during orientation. Also, our faculty and staff went through that, and we offer that on our website. You can sign up and request a training if you haven't gone through it or if you want a refresher. that came out of the conversations. We had students who wanted to say, you know, how do we respond to racial injustice on our campus, and how do we give people the tools to not only identify it, but to intervene. And so that's how we developed that training, is with those conversations in mind. And we were really successful. We had a lot of different partners across campus delivering that training, and it was just awesome. So those have been some of the ways that we've responded, and really hearing that student voice, continuing to listen to our students, because we know that you all are really going to be our future leaders. And so we need to be guided by you, because you have to live in this world longer than we do. So
you had mentioned having conversations with students over summer. How did you stay connected with students during quarantine?
So we, had challenges connecting with students over the summer, but we really did a lot of virtual calls, meetings with we have a diversity and inclusion advisory board, and we have several students who sit on that committee. And so we were constantly meeting over the summer to talk, but also keeping in touch with people one-on-one. But this summer, I also had a chance to kind of do some unexpected things. Like, so we have a pretty active Instagram account, but usually it's just about posting about events, or we do profiles for various heritage months. So, but this time I took a few risks, and I did like some cooking things, and I showed people what I was making during my quarantine lunches and all of that. So I really got a chance to connect in that way. It was really fun to just kind of use social media in a way that I typically don't, to show people that, yeah, I'm right here in the struggle with you all, but here we are.
Do you have a favorite dish that you like to cook for your family?
This is going to be like a very basic American meal, but I love steak. I do. Steak and maybe some rice, or maybe a baked potato with like salt around the skin, and like a good roasted vegetable. Like, very straightforward, but that's what I love.
Going over to her house for dinner.
All right, so speaking of quarantine, while you were in quarantine, did you pick up any new habits or make any extravagant purchases? Because I know everybody in my house did.
Yes, so I definitely started working out, like everyone who's doing a push-up challenge on IG. So I ended up buying a spin bike. So yeah, and it's really nice. I put my iPad on there. I follow a YouTuber who does these intense 45-minute workouts, and I've really been getting it in. So yeah, spinning.
And now it is time for my personal favorite part of each episode, called This or That. So we are going to give you about, I think 9 or 10 Alma related things to choose between. And so we're just going to say them, and then you say which one you like better. Okay, so the first question is sack or dow?
Sack.
Starbucks or Highland Blush?
Highland Blush.
Rec center or weight room?
Rec center.
Highland chicken or popcorn chicken?
Popcorn chicken.
Highland dance or bagpipes?
Ooh, Highland dance.
Ooh.
Football games or basketball games?
Basketball.
Serendipity or Cold Stone?
I have never been to either. So Cold Stone?
Well, you definitely need to try Serendipity out, Gelston or Brusky?
Gelston is closer to my office.
Okay, so now for the most controversial question of them all. Pizza Sam or Pizza One?
Ooh, I've actually never been to either. I don't eat pizza.
Okay, so
the dairy stuff, it's because I'm limiting on dairy, so I don't even go.
My heart.
Maybe go try some wings.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Pizza One. They got some good wings there. So, and
but I feel like people
some good cinnamon sticks. The cinnamon
sticks are so good. So good.
I could probably do a cinnamon stick. So
yes.
So who has the
all
best
right, all
one?
right.
Pizza Sam's? No.
Pizza One.
I like Pizza
Pizza
Sam's.
One. No.
So I think Pizza
Oh
Sam's.
gosh.
I think Pizza Sam's pizza is better, but everyone uses their lunch money for Pizza One, so they're a
Okay.
little biased.
It's
you know?
true. It's
So,
no, Pizza Sam is good. I just like
yeah.
Pizza One
I'm
better.
gonna explore. Now that I know I don't have to order pizza, there are other things I can try.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
lots of other things.
Well, unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today. But a big thank you to you, Dr. Blake, for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here.
All right,
Bye.
bye.
And don't forget, Future Scots, to tune in to next week's episode. They're always released on Fridays at noon. And maybe follow the Instagram or my Instagram. Also, we have Facebook if you're into that kind of thing. And there's a website if you want to look that up. So, go Scots.